here. I think we're live on about 3 different Facebook channels with my good friend Melissa Jackson. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on 2 Facebook channels. We're live on Instagram. We're live on, what else are we live on? We're live on a lot. But anyway, guys, super excited today for you guys to join us. We're going to be talking today. We're going to walk through Create. We literally are 1 week away today from our Create conference. You can see behind me some of the amazing speakers, including my good friend Melissa Jackson, who is sitting here hanging out today. I got to join you. Yeah, my bad. Melissa's like, she's like, hey, dude, you got to let me join in on your live. Melissa's like, dude, Ken, can you please get some new tech people to help you? Tish, good to see you. Josh Smith, what's up, homie? Steve, good to see you. I'm going to drop a link down here real quick, guys. GrowStackDrive.com. Let me bump this back up some just a little bit since I got a guest because it just lowered my thing. GrowStackDrive.com/create Atlanta. Guys, we are 1 week away. It is going to be an unbelievable time. Let me pin this right here. Osbert, one of my guys on my team, is also in the chat right here. And for all of you guys watching us on Facebook Live, 2 different channels, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live. We literally are, we're just live today. And we're getting ready for Create, guys. Listen, Create is the #1 faith-based entrepreneur conference in the country. Gosh, we've had some amazing speakers, Melissa, including yourself with us in the past, my good friend John Maxwell, Erwin McManus, who will be back with us this year, guys like Ed Milet, Brendan Bouchard, Gary Brecka, just a ton, Randy Garn, Vic Keller, just a ton of amazing human beings. And this year, we've got my good friend Melissa Jackson is going to come back with us and join us. Melissa, what's up, girl?
What's up? Just out there doing business, how it is. Out there hustling. How are you?
Man, I am good. I am good. I'm just trying to get all the technology here because we're going live on so many places. Listen, we're 1 week away from Create. I just want to encourage all of you guys that are watching this live today. We dropped a link down there in the Facebook Live and the Instagram Live, growstackdrive.com/create or /create Atlanta. Jen, good to see you. Johnny, Josh Smith's going to be amazing. I got your email earlier, so I'll get back with you today when I got about 2 seconds to breathe. Listen, we're 7 days away. We're going to spend, Melissa, 2.5 days in Atlanta with some amazing friends of ours. I just mentioned some of those guys like Randy Garn and Vic and you and Marie Cosgrove, my good friend Amy Lacey, who's the founder of Cauliflower Pizza. Erwin McManus, Brent Gove, some phenomenal communicators. Henry and Taryn Amara are going to be there talking about relationships. My good friend, Dr. Morgan Anderson, love you, girl. If you're watching this, Dr. Morgan Anderson is going to be with us as well. It's going to be a phenomenal time, 2.5 days. Our core 5, faith, health, relationship, business, and finances. Oh, there's even some people right behind me right here. Sean Mike's going to be with us. Les Brown's going to be with us. Trying to keep up with everybody who's coming. There's a code right there, Create24. Melissa, talk to me real quick about Create. This will be your 2nd or 3rd time that you've been. Talk to me a little bit about Create. Tell everybody why. Like, if they come to Create, what are they going to walk away with?
Well, I think there's a very big important thing that comes with Create that a lot of business conferences don't have. And that is the well balance and the wheel of life. So when you go to a lot of these entrepreneurial conferences, your focus is just on money, your focus is just on relationships, whatever that might be. And if you're unbalanced in one level of those, unfortunately, the majority of the stuff that you build is not going to be long-term success. Now, you do have to be unbalanced sometimes for a particular period. It's a little bit of sacrifice. But the fact that you focus on all of them is huge. And that's one, I think that's huge. And then 2, the community that's there. The community, every single time I've gone there, it's completely different. It's not like a lot of those events that you go to that you can just tell that they're trying to cram sales down your throat. These are people that really care. There's going to be sales there, yes, because they know that it's going to serve you long term. There's going to be people up there that really want to help you. And that's probably my favorite thing about it. I would say this is my favorite conference every single year because you can tell the intentionality of every person is there because they care. And that's the big unlock. They really want to make a difference.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I actually put the slide up on the TV. I'm in my podcast studio here in Birmingham, Alabama. Melissa's all the way on the other side of the country in Idaho. We spend 2.5 days, guys, walking through what we call, for those of you guys on Instagram Live, for those of you guys watching this on multiple platforms streaming right now, we talk about our core 5, which is faith, health, relationships, business, in finances. And I was just on a call earlier today, actually yesterday, with my good friend Walker Hayes, the Applebee's guy. The Applebee song, fancy like Applebee's on the, he like literally had 40 followers on TikTok one day, does this song, literally told me they wrote the song on Tuesday, recorded it on Friday. Him and his daughter did the dance on Sunday. And by the next Thursday or Friday, after the 1 week after they recorded it, 3 million followers on TikTok, just like that, literally blew up. But
Wow.
we talked about fame, we talked about, the finances, we talked about business, we talked about all this stuff. But the one thing that we kept hitting on was in our core five, and I think this is what makes us unique. And you talked about this inside of our core five. You will hear me talk over and over and over: faith, health, and relationships. It really is the foundation of business and finances. And if you don't have faith, health, and relationships in alignment, you can build a great business and you can even have a lot of money. But one of two things will happen: either you won't have anybody who wants to celebrate with you because you're not fun to be around, or because your foundation is so unsettled and unsure. What happens, and I see this a lot, and it's tragic, is a lot of people lose their business and they lose their finances because they neglected the faith, health, and relationship component.
Exactly. Yeah. The health aspect's huge. You can run yourself into the ground. There's that old saying of, you spend all your health to go make money, then you spend all your money trying to get your health back. So I love the balance in between all those. I think it's a phenomenal difference in between every single other conference that I've been at personally.
Well, one of the things, so I would love to talk about this. You're not speaking on health at the conference, but I'd love to jump in health because you and I have been, boom, there's my picture for those of you guys watching. We've been on a similar journey, because I'm looking at you now and I'm like, dang, Melissa's like, even your face is thinner. Talk about your health journey real quick to our audience and what that's looked like in your weight loss and some of the ridiculous goals you set for yourself every single year.
Yeah, so for my health, I come from a morbidly obese family. I also come from a family of chronic illness. So to keep it short and brief, I worked up to 4 jobs, put myself through college while building a business because I came from poverty. And then at the age of 25, ironically, my new office is right by where this all went down, like right across the street from it. But at the age of 25, I quit my last night job and was told, okay, you have something wrong with you. You're going to be paralyzed by the time you're 35. I turned 35 this year, and you need to get brain surgery. So I had to spend 12 surgeries back to back within a 1.5 year long period to avoid dying. That's where that health aspect with money comes into play. But I've always been morbidly obese and I still struggle with chronic illness, but I rebuilt my health by doing small incremental changes, habit by habit, week by week. And now I can run 2, 3 companies, work 18 hours a day, do a 100-mile bike race. I did a bodybuilding competition and I won 2 awards for that.
All you guys watching Instagram Live in here, I don't recommend working 18 hours a day. This woman's bionic. Like, there's something wrong with her. Like about 14, 15 hours a day, and I'm ready for some tequila. I'm ready for some 1942 or something on the block. But anyway, so now listen, this is what's a Surgeon General? Do not attempt this at home. We're talking to professionals. She actually stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So 18-hour days, you're not getting that from Ken. But anyway, go ahead, Melissa. I love your enthusiasm, girl.
And I like being able to, because when I got done with all those surgeries, I couldn't be upright for more than 3 hours at a time. So now I'm like, okay, now I built my body up to be able to maintain that. Do I recommend it all the time? No. If you're an entrepreneur and you have to work all of the time, then maybe you need to look at your systems and your operations and as to why. But at the same time, to be able to, because sometimes you have to be a little unbalanced for the long-term vision, to be able to do that from where I came from is huge. And then I think I lost about 60, 70 pounds, won two different awards at a bodybuilding competition. And that was with.
Stop. Listen, you go over that so fast. Like I lost 60 or 70 pounds and 1, 2. So you started, so which came first? The desire to lose weight and get in shape, or you set I'm going to get in a bikini and I'm going to get in front of a group of strangers. So therefore I better lose weight. Which one of those came first?
The bikini one came first because it scared the crap out of me. That was why. It was terrifying. I had only been in a 2-piece maybe twice in my life up to that day.
Come on, girl.
So it was something that terrified me to the max. Mm-hmm. But my mind works like this. If I can go out there and do something that terrifies me, if I can put myself through something that I think is impossible, I start realizing how many other things are possible.
Mm.
So when other people may try to put a limitation on you, whether it's business, personal, whatever that might be, I can sit there and look at it and go, okay, well, wait a minute. I can count on myself.
Mhm.
The bird does not sit there and go, okay, I'm reliant on the branch. The
Mm.
bird says, okay, if the branch breaks, I know I've got me. And that was my way, and one of my many ways of being able to say that and prove that to myself and continue to build that self-confidence. Affirmations in the mirror do not work. Following through and breaking through and actually doing
Now,
the
guys,
work
I'm going to
works.
be talking about doing affirmations in the mirror. It's not 18-hour days, and affirmations don't work. Go ahead, girl.
But affirmations that you do the work on. That's the difference. Is you do
That's
the work.
exactly right. You're 100%
Exactly.
correct. You can do
Yep.
affirmations in the mirror all day long, and if you don't put some action behind those affirmations, you can forget it.
Exactly. I do
Yeah, you're right.
affirmations all the time, but I'm also like, okay, I
Yeah,
want to make sure I'm backing that with action. I don't want to
yeah.
be lying to myself. If I'm sitting here eating Twinkies and Ho-Hos and donuts and saying I'm super healthy and I'm a healthy being, that's not going to work. If my bank account's negative and I'm not making any incentives to try to go and change that, and I'm just laying there waiting and watching Netflix,
Mhm.
that's where that self-confidence comes in.
No, I love that. So you set a goal to do a bikini competition. How much did you weigh when you did that?
I think weighed about 190.
Okay. Did you put a bikini on when you did it and look at yourself, or did you do
Mm-hmm.
like a before and after picture?
Yes.
And when
Yep.
you did
And
that, what were you thinking?
oh God, why did I do this? This is impossible.
Guys, listen. One of the things you're going to walk away from Create all weekend is we talk about faith, health, relationships, business, and finances. We're going to give you what we call 4610 moments, which are moments for you to be still and really lean into guys like Irwin, girls, ladies like Michelle, ladies like Amy Lacey, people like Vic Keller, had 11 companies acquired by Warren Buffett, and then served as the CEO for Berkshire Hathaway Automotives. My good friend Sean Mike. I mean, there are some of the most world-class entrepreneurs and speakers going to be there. And in each of these moments, what we call our core five, and right here they are on the screen behind me: faith, health, relationships, business, and finances. We're going to give you time, 5, 6, 7 minutes every single at the end of each 2 or 3 speakers in that specific subject. We're going to give you time to literally take your planner. You're going to get one of these when you come, because this is what's gotten me where I'm at today in the last 3.5 to 4 years of really going, okay, God, what do you have for me? Like, what does my faith need to look like at the end of 2024? What does
Mhm.
my health need to look like? And I'm telling you, because I'm listening to you and I'm like, girl, I get now. I wouldn't sign up for no thong competition or no Speedo competition. I wasn't going to do that. But what I did, even on my picture right here, as you can see, I did take a before picture. The before picture I picked doesn't look as bad as this one with me umpiring a
Mhm.
summer league college baseball game. But I was one of those things where I'm like, nope, this is what I'm going to do. And I did what you did. As soon as I took the picture, I put it on social media, said I'm losing 66 pounds.
Yep.
When I got to 60, I moved it to 86 pounds. When I got to 80, I moved it to 106 pounds. So
Mhm.
you're like, I'm going to join this competition. I'm going to join it. So I've got to lose X. How much time? What was the time frame in that, Melissa?
That took me, let's see, January until October. And I did it without
10
crash
months.
dieting. And then I also did it coming right after an entire right shoulder reconstruction surgery
Mm-hmm. I
that
remember that.
cost me $100,000.
Yeah.
Because my shoulder was dislocated and broken and separated. They need to rebuild the entire thing. And one of the top like specialists in the US. So it was difficult. It took a lot of systems, incremental changes, small habits, building that up to be able to get that up to be there, given how long it was dislocated. But that's really not that long given doing it in a healthy manner. That's what was most important to me.
Mm.
I didn't want to crash diet. I didn't want to do any of that.
Let me ask you a question. Would you have lost 60 or 70 pounds had you not set that? I'm going to do a bikini competition. It's going to be on this date in October, and this is what I'm going to do.
No.
Yeah. Guys, I'm telling you, people say, we say this all the time about goal setting. If you aim, one of my mentors, Ron Leach, taught me this 20 years ago. It's better to aim for the moon and make it halfway than aim next door and make it.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
Zig Ziglar says, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, set a goal. This is what Create's going to look like. Go ahead, Melissa.
And at the end of the day, if you don't set a date, if you don't set something firm, if you don't have
Come on, girl.
accountability in it, that's a dream. That's a pipe dream. And one of my favorite quotes by Will Smith is he says, self-discipline and self-love. So the more that you sit there
Yeah.
and you lie to yourself and you're like, this is going to be new year, new me, and you do not execute on it, the more that you lose that ability to believe in yourself. That's why I'm like, okay, I don't care what happens. I'm going to be up on that stage. Am I going to be the most fit? No, I didn't build all the muscle mass. I just had my entire shoulder reconstructed, but I did still win 2 awards and I showed up anyways,
And,
regardless of the matter.
and
That's a win.
Melissa got a some kind of a big trophy or award or something, didn't you, at the
Yep.
thing?
Yep, I've got fourth place in one of them, and then I've got the most inspirational competitor, and that was just one of 4 mental toughness challenges I signed up for that year.
Yeah, dude, I absolutely love that. I think that's absolutely amazing. So on the health journey, that's been huge for you. You dropped 60, 70 pounds, bikini competition. Talk a little bit, because this is one of the things, guys, at Create next week. This is one of the things we're going to do is give you guys space to not only hear from some of the amazing people that are coming to speak, but also give you an opportunity after we've had 2 or 3 people speak on faith and on health and on relationships for you to really set some goals in each of those areas. Talk
Mhm.
about some of the ridiculous goals you've set over the past couple of years and how that's really forced you, Miss Melissa, to take action.
Mhm. Well, I set another goal in 2022 as well to do start a 0 to 6 figure business where I didn't use my own name, my own connections, or any of that stuff. And I did that really quickly. I built the entire model within probably like 2 or 3 weeks. And that worked without really any capital investments, without anything. And my goal was to overhaul the ability for people that come from poverty. That's something I'm very passionate about because I understand economics, to be able to have a model that they could go into and build their own financial freedom. Another goal that I set for myself is for the past 11 years, I wanted to overhaul the education system in commercial real estate. This industry in commercial real estate, so I've worked with your big Fortune 500 companies, McDonald's, Jimmy John's, Little Caesars, you name it, has about a 10% success rate. And that includes people born into it. That includes people that come
Mm.
from a lot of wealth. For 11 years, because I came from neither one of those, I kept copious notes, 2 filing cabinets full of it. And now I have my own office.
Come on, bro.
So that was one of my biggest goals of merging that and motivational speaking and business coaching together, which has taken off great. I've got clients in Portugal. I've got clients internationally
Mm.
that I'm working with, on top of the fact that I've got my own entire database between both companies that I'm merging together. So it's been
Yeah.
huge goals, but my job and what I like to do is disrupt the industry and give access to everybody. It's been my biggest goal, and it's working.
I love that. Guys, listen, we've got about 27 or 28 executive tickets and about 24 or 25. I'm not sure what the number is now because we sold several today. General admission tickets for next week, 7 days away in Atlanta. Create Conference, 2.5 days, the #1 faith-based entrepreneurial conference in America. growstackdrive.com/create Atlanta. I know we've got our team on all the platforms dropping things. If you use the code create24, that will get you 50% off of whatever ticket. We'll get you off the CEO, but we only have about 3 or 4 of those left. But that'll get you 50% off of any of the tickets. The GAs, which were 400, are now 200. The execs are 1,500. They're now 750. If you've already bought a ticket, like if you're watching today and you're like, Ken, I already bought a ticket and I paid X for it, man, you owe me a free ticket because because now we're doing the buy one, get one. Listen, all you got to do, DM me or DM my team, and we will make sure we get an extra ticket for you and for whoever you want to bring with you guys. It's going to be an amazing, amazing time. Melissa, why should someone invest in themselves and show up at Create next week in Atlanta?
Well, so I come from a small town. Okay. So I'm going to go nerdy with you. The human brain says that you can only maintain and comprehend 158 relationships. So if you're watching this right now and you're like, I don't like where I'm at with my life, I'm depressed, I'm upset, I'm broke, all these different things. A lot of that has to do with the fact that you may be selecting the wrong 158 people to be in your life, to be in your inner circle. Coming from a small town, I've had so many people, and I love them to death, put a finger in my face, tell me you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. That means you are telling your goals to the wrong people. That doesn't mean any judgment to them, because I'm going to take this one step further.
Yeah.
Number two, it is your responsibility to accomplish your goals. Because when you do that, you break yourself out of the mental prison they try to put you in, that somebody else put them in, and that shows them their greatness. So I really challenge people that are watching this. If you're not where you want to be, good news, you have an opportunity to change. Surround yourself with people that can change you. Number two, you are responsible for that change in your life, to be that better version of yourself so that you can inspire other people to do the exact same thing. So you guys really need to join this. I know there's a lot of things on here. This is not just a rah, get pumped
Yeah.
up thing. This is actual statistics, analytics. Vic is a great example of that. I know I'm going to be bringing market knowledge. I've worked with billionaires, people with private jets, all of that stuff. I cannot wait to come in and talk about economics and what I've been able to predict for the past 4 years. And out predicting quite a few billionaires and what was going to happen to the economy. So that's where it's all balanced. You got to have it all balanced.
I love it. I love it. Guys, Melissa Jackson. Melissa, thanks for joining us. I'm going to get my guy. But hang on, Luce. I just want you to say hi to Austin real quick. For those of you guys that are watching us live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the different channels, we're talking about Create Conference 2024. There's Austin Zealand right there. Let me pull Austin in on the live as well. Austin, send me a request on Instagram.
Hey, how's
Dude,
it going?
you are one sharp looking young man. That's what I literally was gonna wear a jacket. And I'm like, nope. And I got my jacket hanging over here in my podcast studio.
Well, put it on, man. Put it on.
And then you show up with, of course, like what you always look like. So hey, send me real quick, Austin, on Instagram Live. Send me a request and I'll pull you.
I tried, but it kicked me off. I don't know what's
Oh,
going
really?
on with my Instagram. It doesn't let me watch lives right now. Like I can't even
Oh.
watch. I tried to watch this one, but it kicked me off.
Well, I hear you, big boy. Well, okay. It's showing you. It's showing that you're in there.
Yeah, it let me join
hit
for a few
wave
seconds
at
and then
you.
it kicked me off.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
my phone was off.
Completely. It's like he's not even working at all. Austin and Melissa, I think you guys know each other, yeah?
I think that we met in passing. Yeah, maybe the last Create conference.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin
Yeah.
spoke last year. He's going to be speaking again this year. It's going to be an amazing time. We just finished up. Melissa Jackson, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate you, girl, and can't wait to see you next week at Create.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
See you, girl.
Thank you.
Austin Zeller, what's up, big boy?
How's it going, man? I'm super excited for this.
It's going to be good, man. Listen, we were just talking real quick for those of you guys on Instagram Live, trying to get Austin kind of be able to join us. We'll see what that looks like here in just a minute. Austin, we're a week away from Create. You've been a couple years in a row to Create Conference. Last year you spoke. This year you're going to be speaking again on business and finances and stuff like that. We've got a ton. We've got a couple dozen executive seats available. I think we got 23 or 24 general admission. Why should somebody invest and show up in Atlanta?
I think it's a great platform for people to change their life in multiple ways, I would say. And I'm a big fan of networking events and business conferences and stuff like that. So I'm quite familiar with what the typical layout looks like. And I would say that this is definitely not typical. This is super high end because of the people that you have in the room. And so not only is the information great, you've got a lot of very interesting people presenting from their life stories, from their experiences, and just sharing a ton of value with the audience. But you also have a great group of people. And usually, like sometimes you'll have an event that has one or the other. And I knowingly will still go to these events where I'll just attend just to network or I'll attend just to learn. But you've got a great combination of both.
Let me see if I can get you to, and I'm going to, since we don't have him on Instagram Live, guys, and I wanted to do that, I'm going to just play him through my speakers here and see if we can get you guys. You're not going to be able to see him, but hopefully you guys can be able to hear Austin. We're running through my studio speakers instead of my AirPod. Talk a little bit, Austin. You're going to come in, you're going to talk about business scaling. Talk a little bit about what you're excited about to be able to communicate and add value when you're at Create this year.
Yeah, so something that's been on my heart is kind of the future of business, and that includes both scaling what you have existing, but also how can we adapt to the things that are happening in the business world. And there's many new technologies coming out, and there's many new like capabilities that our businesses need to have. And the thing is, like, you can stick to what you already have in business and be fine, but for how long? Because the chances are your competitors are doing those things. They're implementing the new technologies. They're doing all these things to grow their businesses and take it to the next level. So the standard is being raised year after year after year, and you have to at least keep up to stay alive. And so I think it's very, very important that we look at what's happening in the marketplace and start implementing those things in our companies. Now, specifically, I think one of those big things is AI. And so I won't tell you everything that I'm going to share, but I will be sharing about some things in the AI space specifically. And if you look at a macro picture, I believe this is the biggest thing that's possibly going to happen in our lifetimes. It's bigger than the internet. It's bigger than, some say it's bigger than electricity. But it's literally a whole new universe that's being created. And I think there's a couple ways that we can look at it. But if you think back to the 70s and the 80s, we had this massive wave of people becoming wealthy. How did they become wealthy? They figured out leverage, but they used financial leverage. So they used banks, they used lending products, loans, all that stuff to grow very quickly in business and make a lot of money. Okay, cool. After that, two things happened. Number one, the government started regulating it a lot, so it became more difficult to get loans, and other people got the same idea. They're like, oh, this person is making money with financial products. Let me see if I could do that too. So the market became crowded and saturated. So it gets more difficult for us as business owners to do those things.
So really what you're saying
At another wave.
what you're saying is in the 70s with the financial markets, the people that were first to grab hold and innovate were the people that did good, and then all the people that followed behind, those original adapters or early adapters, if you will, for the financial markets, did okay, but not like the original adapters.
Yeah, I would say to a certain extent, yes, that's true. It's still possible, even today, to be successful with these financial products and financial leverage. In fact, I use financial leverage in my business all the time, but it's just not as easy because when something first comes out, it's very hard to lose. Basically, everybody who was using it, who was one of the first adopters, as soon as that first wave hit, they were all successful. They had to try to lose. It wasn't like a trial and error type of thing. They just applied leverage to their business. They outgrew all their competitors, either bought them or put them out of business, and they were the big winners. And so after that, something similar happened with the internet. That was the second wave that I see in the marketplace. And this is informational leverage. So we had financial leverage. Now we have the leverage of information, meaning you're in where? Alabama right now?
Alabama, Birmingham, baby.
Alabama, I'm in Seattle. This transfer of information is instant. And this is thanks to the internet. So this is like the second wave of leverage that happened, and people realized, oh, I can instantaneously communicate information anywhere in the world. I'm going to use this to grow my business. So they started leveraging social media. They started taking their business online. And again, the early adopters were the ones that are the big winners. Right now, if you try to make money online, it's still, I'd say, easy, but it's not as easy as it was 5 years ago. If you were doing something online 5 years ago, you'd have to try to lose, literally. So now I think we're moving into our third wave. And this is, I think, bigger than information, bigger than finance. Those are just protocols of communication. We have something now that's like human capital leverage, and that's artificial intelligence. So we're creating this whole new metaverse. We're creating this thing where we have these intelligent beings, which are AI, and they need to communicate with each other. So we have cryptocurrency, that's their financials. And then we have NFTs, which are basically information leverage. So they have this thing that exists in their universe, but AI is really the big picture and the big wave that's happening, and we need to apply it to our businesses. So I've been implementing AI in any way I could possibly think of in all my companies, and I'll be sharing some examples and teaching a little bit on that at Create. But just so you guys get a bit of a background and a picture of what I think is going on in the market, it'll at least get you thinking in the right direction.
I love that. One of the things we're going to talk about too is you've got a business. And so I know we got a lot of people on Instagram Live, still a dozen or so people watching this now on Instagram Live. And I know you're hopping in. We couldn't get Austin on Instagram Live. So I dropped the link down there on the Facebook. So we're live on Facebook, LinkedIn. We've got about 4 or 5 different spots that we're live on. Marissa, what's up, girl? Good to see you. Come see me in Atlanta next week, girl. But it's going to be an amazing, amazing time next week. But one of the things that we're going to spend some time in is if you have a business who is $1 million EBITDA, or you're between about 1 to 5 to 6 million in revenue every year, how we can actually step alongside you, partner with you, and help you scale that business.
Yeah, so there's a lot of companies that basically get stuck between $2 and $5 million. And you'll see, like, even statistically, I'd say probably about 80 to 90% of businesses fail within that trench right there. It's kind of, some people call it no man's land, some people call it where businesses go to die. Like, there's all these things because it's a real thing in the marketplace, and the majority of businesses fail right there. And so kind of in my portfolio, I've developed a system and a format that I follow to scale past that, because the truth is if your business is doing 2, 3, 4, $5 million, you still need everything that a $10 million business needs, but you just don't have twice the revenue. So you're really tight on cash. You need all these things. You don't have the access like the $10 million businesses do, but you still need to grow. So there's a real strategy that's applied there to reinvest, to grow as fast as possible to that 10 million mark. So now you can afford all these things, and it's like life becomes sunshine and rainbows. Of course, everything is not perfect and you have to grow to the next level, but really the technicality of business happens up until 10 million. After that, it's leadership, it's people development, it's adding middle management, it's delegating. That's what happens after. But up until 10 million, it's just the technicalities of business, just figuring it out, really.
And one of the things I talk about a lot is get in rooms with people who think bigger than you do, and that proximity really is a cheat code. And
Yeah.
you've been able to help tons of businesses scale and do exactly what we're talking about. You and I are actually going to do a CEO lunch on Saturday afternoon to be able to talk even a little bit more about this and what it looks like to be able to work with you and myself in scaling your business. So if you've got a business, guys, listen, another huge reason to be at Create this year. Again, we're going to hit our core 5, which we talk about all the time: faith, health, relationships, business, and finances. We'll start. Well, actually, Thursday night is going to be a pre-conference. It's literally I don't know, what would you call it, Austin? It's like a big party on Thursday night. It's about 2 hours. I'll be speaking. My good friend Erwin McManus will be there. I've got my good friend Ashley Hess. She's an American Idol finalist with her team. The King will come. She just got through touring with Maverick City. I've got my buddy Big Vinny, who was signed by Toby Keith, at 15 years old, finished 4th on The Biggest Loser. His testimony and story is unbelievable. He's going to come in and perform and show his story on Thursday. Then Friday morning, we're going to kick off Friday morning with my good friend, Erwin McManus. We'll start at faith, and we will work through faith, health, relationships Friday and Saturday morning, and then business and finances Saturday morning all the way into Saturday afternoon, and give you an unbelievable opportunity. I know for those of you guys that are on Instagram, you can't see Austin there. We had some technical difficulties with him joining both places at the same time, but you can hear him. You're going to get some time in each of these blocks when we hit our core 5 with all of the speakers that we have coming in. I'm actually going to give you what we call 4610 moments. Some time for you to kind of be still with your team, your partner, with your spouse, if your spouse is there, and literally go, okay, God, what does my finances need to look like at the end of 2024? Austin, what does my health need to look like at the end of 2024? And I don't know about you, but I know you've seen this picture a couple of times.
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking about health. 85 pounds I've dropped. My good friend, Zach Woodfin, who is the strength and conditioning coordinator for the UFL, spent several years in the NFL and then strength and conditioning coordinator for a bunch of Division I programs, and now for the UFL. He was with the USFL when the two leagues, when their league merged with the Rocks League, they said, dude, we want you to be the guy. He's going to come on and actually talk to you. What does nutrition look like? What is working out look? Dude, I love, because Zach lives 10 minutes from me, I love working out with my guy because he challenges and pushes me. But Austin, talk about the framework and some of the things that you're going to be able to put in people's hands at Create so they can walk away and apply that in their business literally the day they leave.
Yeah, definitely. So I think one of the biggest things as far as business goes is there are like focus areas that we want to grow. So there's usually 3 to 5 for any business. I'll probably be teaching on all 5 in depth so that people can pick and pull what they want to apply to their business specifically. But there's like 5 areas that we like to analyze in a business and see how we can improve them. Because if you were to sell your business or if you were to start a new business, if you have these 5 aspects mastered and you know how to duplicate that again, you can easily become successful again. And that's why you'll see some of these guys that they're not afraid to risk their whole business or risk all of their wealth because they know if they lose it, they can always make it back. Business isn't an accident at all. It's a formula, and you need certain things in place. And if we can master those things, I think it helps us grow what we have existing, but we can also begin to start other businesses. So I've started to expand into multiple different verticals, just based off of what I have going on and the people around me. And I've developed a system to not only get it to that level where it's ready for somebody to run it, but also sourcing and hiring that person to come and operate the business for me so that I can manage the entire portfolio as a whole. So It's really about, adapting to new technologies, I think is one part of it, but also mastering and perfecting what we have currently, and knowing which areas to specifically focus on.
I teach businesses. Let me say this. I've taught speakers from in the last 20 years. I mean, I've been on some huge stages around. So I've got some amazing friends. We've had some amazing people at Create, like John
Yeah.
Maxwell and Ed Milet and Brenda Bouchard and all the guys that come in, Gary Brecka, and speak at Create every year. One of the things I've always told people, younger people in business or younger people in ministry, is when you act like you belong in the room, you'll get in the room. And I just parlay that over into business. If you're a business of 2 million and you want to get to 5, do the things $5 million businesses do.
Yeah.
$5 million business and you want to get to 10, do the things that $10 million businesses are doing. It's really not rocket science. It's, can you have enough perseverance and grit to really take on the journey to be able to get there?
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the biggest secrets to business. Sometimes I see people, they want to just figure it out on their own, or they want to be like independent, but that really doesn't work in business. You don't build great things by yourself. And so whether it means bringing somebody alongside you as a partner or hiring somebody as a consultant or whatever capacity it might be, there are people that are doing the things that you want to do way better than you are. And they're like, just sharing that information with you is a tremendous way to grow. And I've literally skipped decades in business just by paying to access that information or getting myself in the room somehow and learning from those people. And that's allowed me to grow very, very quickly. And I've kind of boiled all that down into a specific formula in my own company. And now I just use it as a template. So I'm applying this template into each one of my businesses.
I love that. Again, it's not, when you get around guys, I've talked a lot about, over the past couple of years about my text thread I have every single day that we literally all this morning, the whole morning, we've been texting back and forth. This is Randy Garn, who's going to be speaking at Create this year, New York Times bestselling author, Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year. We actually have 2 of those. Vic Keller's one, Randy's the other. Sits on the board of for Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi's, partners with Brenda Bouchard and the High Performance Institute. And he's one of the managing partners for a PE firm, Tamarack Capital, in Salt Lake City. So you're going to be able to hear from some amazing people. We have a text thread with Randy, my good friend Brent Gove, who's the #1 guy at EXP, has 29,000 agents in his organization. Gary Brecka, top biohacker and health guy in the world right now, literally on a rocket ship of growth.
Yeah.
#1 health and wellness podcast in the world. And literally, he overtook Andrew Huberman in 24 hours. They had 2.4 million downloads on his podcast. It was absolutely insane. Him, Vic Keller, and then my good friend Brian Covey, who is the senior vice president for Revolution Mortgage. And I mean, those 5 guys, and even in those 5 relationships, Austin, you know all of those guys well. Even in those 5 relationships, I have almost different segments of relationships. Like if I want to talk about business or leadership, I always go to Vic Keller or I go to Brian Covey. If I want to talk about like my personal relationships and what's going on in my life, I always lean on Brent Gove and Randy Garn. Those are the guys. And if it has anything to do with my health, it's always Gary Brecka. Like literally, hey Gary, and our thread goes all day long, literally just bing, 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 bing of us pinging back and forth. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Again, when you show up at Create for 2.5 days, what type of person can they expect to leave as versus the type of person they walked in the door as?
I think one of the biggest changes that people would see is they're going to find somebody that has the information that they need to apply to their life right now. So like you said, maybe it's a relationship thing. Maybe they're needing some help in their relationship or their faith, or business or finances or any one of those things that you focus on. And they're going to find those people and relate to them. And those people are going to help them become a more educated person, somebody who's more equipped to take charge of that area of their life, and take it to the next level. I know me personally, I kind of quintuple dipped and took advantage of all 5 areas the last event. I was like, wow, this is great. I learned something in every one of those core areas, and that helped me level up in each one of those because you do need all of them truly. But sometimes there's one that's like more critical than the others. So, you know, you could focus more on that one. But for me, I really had a balanced learning experience, I would say. And the things that I learned, I was able to immediately apply to my business and my growth. And, you know, I think that everybody in the room felt the same way because you could see it on their faces, the way they were taking notes and the way they were listening and the way they were excited about this information because they were connecting and it was relevant to where they're at right now in their journey. And they found things that could help them take it to the next level.
Yeah, when you're sitting there, you listen to a guy like Vic Keller. We mentioned Vic, who served as a CEO for Warren Buffett at Berkshire Hathaway Automotives, an
Yeah.
$11 billion a year company. Man, you're going to be able to learn some things and get some nuggets from him that literally you can't put a price tag on.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like, you know, you've pulled back the curtain, Ken. We get to see behind the scenes on some of these guys and kind of like how they think and how they operate. And I think it's a valuable experience for everybody that's in the room.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm gonna pull Dr. Marie Cosgrove in. She's next. Final thoughts for everybody, for the audience. Austin, as we're a week away from Create.
I would just encourage everybody to come. You know, if you're watching this and you're thinking about it and you're considering whether you should attend or not, I definitely know for a fact you're going to have a great experience and you're going to be happy with your decision to come because I know some of these speakers and I know some of the people that are going to be in that room. And knowing the information that they're going to share, it's not just fluff. It's not just like surface level information. Like they go deep and it truly, I would say, is an experience. And I'm not sure why you called it create, but I feel like if you wanted to create a new life or create a better life for yourself, this is the conference to be at because that's what it does. You know, it levels you up in every area of your life, gives you potentially a new network of people to be friends with, to do business with. And just overall, I think is a very, very solid experience. And the most important part of all, it's faith-based. So faith-based entrepreneurs taking their life to the next level and learning from the people who have already done it.
It's going to be amazing, dude. I'm absolutely stoked. We've kind of shifted and I've really just felt like there's some things that we're going to do this year. They're going to be different that we've never done before in our 4610 moments and giving people several minutes to process and kind of prayerfully consider where do I need to be? Really the whole vision component of what vision looks like and really getting a download, not only just a vision in those 4610 moments, but then with all the speakers that we have throughout the core five of faith, health, relationship, business, and finances, being able to give you the information, you said it earlier, to give you the information that you need to take that area of your life to the next level. Austin Zelli, good to see you, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
I owe you 2 20-minute videos. I got one of them coming here in just a minute.
Sounds good.
Love you, dude. Dr. Marie Cosgrove, what's up, girl?
Hey, good to be on with you.
Are you able to hop on Instagram Live as well?
How do I do that? Here we go.
Just go to Instagram. Just go to Instagram, find me
Okay,
in my
I'm
live,
there.
join it. Just make sure your sound is turned down on your phone so you don't get it, so we don't hear both, so we don't hear all the stuff coming through. And I am gonna take and put I'm gonna put you back.
Sorry, show me how I do this. Okay, I'm on here.
Just go to
I've done it before.
Instagram. The very, very top, you'll see me
I'm
somewhere, and I'm live.
Okay.
You see the little top circles on the top of your Instagram?
Yeah.
Just hit me, and then you'll join my live, and then boom, I'm gonna pull you in. I'm gonna invite you in. You're gonna have to hit accept, and then it'll pull you into my Instagram live. There we go, girl. Look at you.
Yay! All right.
Now we got you on both places. Just make sure your volume on your phone is all the way down. That way,
There.
that way there you go. That way we won't get any feedback. Girl, so I've had Melissa Jackson on today. I've had my good friend Austin Zellin, who you met Austin last year at Create. Take just a minute. I mean, when I tell people, they're like, do you know Marie Cosgrove? And I'm like, she is a 4'11" badass businesswoman, like probably the biggest badass, the shortest badass businesswoman I know. How's that sound? But take a minute, Marie, and tell everybody a little bit about what you've got going on and what you're doing.
Okay. So, because I'm involved in so much, but I come from my background is it's four kids. At the time, I had four kids. I have five now, but at the time I had four kids, single parent, dad lost parental rights. I couldn't afford it. What they didn't understand is I paid for my own travel and I traveled all over the country with my four kids. So on a six-figure income, you can't travel with four kids. You just can't afford to do that. So I said I couldn't take that offer. So they let me go because they said I was making too much money. And they let me go. I started another company and I scaled it. And then the people that I go said, "Are you interested in investing?" And when my accountant looked at the numbers, he said, "Oh, you're during these years the most profitable. You did 83%. So I invest. I want to buy the company." And the company, we took it internationally. Then people started asking me to share and to tell my story. And of course, a lot of people ask, well, do you have a rich daddy that maybe bought it for you, or a rich uncle? Do you inherit money? And they just thought it's possible that you did this on your own. And the thing is that the first time I was asked to share my story, I had a dream, and in my dream, God said, "This isn't your story, this is your story." And it's a very vulnerable story that I really had never shared with anybody, not even my best friend, because I was taught that this is shameful. This is like, you don't want anybody to know this. And I'm Hispanic, and in my culture, you don't talk about certain things and you protect family name. And when I shared with a family member, I'm going to share this, they said, "No, you're not. You can't do this." And I said, "I'm going to have to, because it's not about me. It's about the power of God. It's not about me. It's not even about you." It just goes to show that it doesn't matter where you come from or what your situation is right now, whether you're struggling financially, whether you're struggling with your faith, whether you're struggling with relationships, or maybe you're not struggling with anything, but you struggle with your faith in God. And I know that can create.
Yeah.
It's all about faith-based
Yeah.
business building. And so you may be struggling with these things, or maybe, I don't need God because I'm able to do all things on my own. Because we live in a culture, in a society that says you can do it. You don't need anybody else. It's just me, me. Look what I did. Look what I did. What I accomplished. And what I realized is, see, I come from a single family and a single parent home, which many of us do. But my mom had permanent brain damage, had dad. I'm a to rape. So that's a shameful thing. I'll share about that later. However, I didn't have the financial resources growing up. And that really made it difficult for me because I didn't have anyone to get God. So I know for a fact that it doesn't matter what you're going through or what challenges you're going through, when you have that relationship with God and when you're able to submit to God and believe in His truth and the value that He places on you, then you realize that it doesn't matter what you're going through, everything's going to be okay, and that you can have that peace of mind and that contentment.
Yeah, I love
that's
John,
just a little
John
bit about me
14.
and a
Yeah, I
little
love
bit about
John
my
14:27. It says, Jesus says, "My peace I give you, not the world's peace." Hey, real quick, you're froze on Zoom. So I don't know if you've got a connection on your I can hear you come through Zoom because I'm looking at the broadcast, because we're broadcasting on 5 different channels, but your picture on Zoom is like straight up frozen. So I don't know if you can.
No, I can hear you.
You can hear me on Zoom. You're moving now. You're moving a little bit. So just a minute ago, it literally looked like you were froze for almost that whole entire time. Marie,
I'm at a hotel, so it's bad in my hotel room. There's not good
gotcha.
connection.
I know you're traveling, speaking all over the country. You've been to Create now for 2 or 3 years in a row. Talk about why someone should invest in getting in the room at Create.
I believe it's important to invest because, one, the connections you're going to make and the information you're going to be able to take home. One of the things that I realized is a lot of times we think, if I had more money, if I only look like this, if I only had this, I could be successful. But most of the time, what I have found is that your battle is not with what you have and don't have. The battle is in the mind.
Yeah.
And I learned this from my good friend, Nick Wood. Him and I have done events together. We've spoken on the same stages. When you hear him talk, you don't see a man without arms and legs on that stage. And he goes back and forth and he has all this passion. And
Yeah.
you forget that you're listening to someone without arms and legs.
Mhm.
What you get is the spirit. What you see is the inside. You don't see the outside.
Mhm.
And you will gain strategies on how to clarify and how to feel comfortable with who you are. Because what people see is your inside. They don't see the outside. Those things may seem, I mean, us as humans, we look at someone, we may notice what they're wearing or something. But at the end of the day, you're going to know who someone is by their character. And so what I love about the people that Ken brings on, he brings people that have character. He brings people that have a spirit that shines through, and they are able to share strategies with you that will help you in your business and how to overcome those mental challenges that you face every day.
No, I love that. Obviously your success has been unbelievable. Thursday night, I'm excited. We've never done this before. It's our first year. I've got a female panel on Thursday night. I've got you, my good friend Amy Lacey. And I don't know if you know Amy or not. She's the founder of Cauliflower Foods. Who else is on that panel? I've got Melissa Jackson on that panel. I've got Dr. Shanna Thomas. She's a 7-figure chiropractor from Mississippi who's in my community and in my mastermind. So we've got some powerhouse ladies coming up on the stage, and I get to interview you guys. And I am super, super excited about that. Talk about, Marie, talk about to some of the ladies that are out there that are entrepreneurs and business owners. Not just even from a faith-based perspective, but from a female perspective. How important is it for them to be in the room to get around some ladies like you and Amy and Dr. Shanna and some of those other ladies that have done what they want to do?
I think it's essential, and I think it is so important. I was just having a conversation with someone who, as a female, we do have challenges. I don't like to play the race card or like, oh, I'm female, woe is me. However, there are certain challenges that females face that males don't face. And it is so important to embrace who you are as a female to help you push toward success. And we're going to share these strategies with you because I have faced, some of the challenges. Someone just shared with me how I had difficulty with a person who basically wouldn't do business with them unless they did something in return, if you know what I mean. And I won't say it here publicly, but you can get the idea, and that can be challenging. But we will share strategies, how to overcome that and how to get past those situations and how to avoid those sticky situations and how to prosper and be successful as a woman. I know as a woman, I had a hard time getting a job. I'm 53 years old. I was 27 at the time. And I remember being told, you will never make it in the medical device industry. Selling devices for $150,000 or $35,000 pieces of equipment. I was told I couldn't do it because I was a female, that it was a man's world. And it was challenging. But what was challenging for someone else became my opportunity. I'll give you an example. For men, this is what the VP told me. Are you going to take the doctors out hunting? Are you going to take them fishing? Are you going to take them to the strip bar? Because that's what we do. I don't see you doing that. Ha ha ha. Are you going to wear a short skirt? And just kind of making fun of me, kind of mocking me. But here's the thing. Maybe those men had to do that. I knew I did it. And so I knew what they took as my weakness. I used it as my strength. And so they couldn't figure out, how are you closing all of these deals and you're not spending money on dinners, you're not spending money on taking them out. You're doing one-call closes on $150,000 piece of equipment. How in the world are you doing that? They couldn't fathom how someone like me could do that. So I'll be sharing those strategies with the audience on that panel. So I'm really excited.
It's going to be amazing. Marie Cosgrove, you are a rock star, girl. I love you a ton. We got connected, I think, about a year and a half ago. Actually, almost 2 years ago now. I spoke at an event in Cancun. It was about
Yes.
9,000 degrees. I was like, I remember because you had you and your son's little villa hut, whatever, was right next to mine. Literally, when you walked outside the door, sweat was dripping off my elbow in 30 seconds. It was that hot and humid. Brian Burger, what's up, baby? Good to see you, homie. But guys, yeah, we're getting ready for Create next week in Atlanta. Myself, good friends like Dr. Marie Cosgrove, Austin Zellin, Erwin McManus, Sean Mike, Les Brown. Some amazing, amazing human beings are going to be there. A good friend, Amy Lacey, CEO of Cauliflower Foods. Phil Stringer, who just hopped on here just a minute ago, who's at Brent Go's event in Cabo right now with 900 EXP agents. I was supposed to be there and speak, and I'm like, there's no way in the world. I had to tell Brent 2 days ago, Marie. I'm like, dude, I can't make it. I've got too much to do to get ready for Atlanta. There's no way I can come spend 5 days in Cabo, even though I'm speaking to 900 people. So anyway, good to see you, Marie. I love you, girl, a ton. I cannot wait to see you next week. It's going to be an amazing, amazing time. Brian, thank you for letting us know that too, my friend, because we've got a million different things we're doing. Marie, I will see you next week, girl. I love you a ton, and it's good to see you. And I cannot wait to hang out next weekend.
Excited to see you next weekend. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you, girl. So, guys, Create 24 next week. Yep, you said Big Echo. I hear you right there. Big Echo on the thing. Sorry about that. We'll get this tech stuff worked out the next time around. growstackdrive.com/create Atlanta. growstackdrive.com/create Atlanta. It's right there. If you use the code, we've got about a dozen of our executive and about 22 now, 21 of our general admission tickets left. Those are 50% off to get this thing sold out this week. Use code CREATE24 for those of you guys that are watching me live right here on all of the different platforms that we're streaming. You can use that code CREATE24 and it will give you the opportunity to be able to get that ticket for half price. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. I'm super excited. I've got my good friend Sean Mike coming on Instagram Live tomorrow. Sean and I will be on, and then also tomorrow, my good friend Morgan Anderson. Morgan and I will be on tomorrow as well for an Instagram Live to talk a little bit more about Create. If you do not have your ticket, guys, listen, you do not want to miss this. We're going to spend 2.5 days. This is our core 5: faith, health, relationships, business, and finances. It's going to be amazing. I love you guys a ton. I'll see you next week in Atlanta. Actually, I'll see a lot of you guys tomorrow right back here on Instagram Live. Love you guys. See ya.